All right, this is the week one training tape for the games that occurred August 25th and 26th, 2023. We had a good week. We had a lot of interesting plays that happened, and that's what's going to happen, in the first games. Teams are not used to playing with clocks and punting and live field goals and kickoff. So we need that practice too. So we have some good plays on mechanics, intentional grounding, personal fouls, legal substitutions, and whatnot. So we have about 30 plays. I probably could have had about another 35 more, but mostly good stuff, things we can improve on. But I want us to keep that sense of urgency and the grind that we had last year. I don't want complacency to set in because we think we've made it. So that's what I challenge each and every crew chief and official this year and this week to get that sense of urgency back. So let's get a look at the plays. All right, I always like to point out where we are agile, because we are athletes too, just like the players. First, I want to point out the agility of the umpire here. So let's watch the umpire. Does a good job counting his 12, and he'll step up and he's officiating the play well. Steps up to get the close line play, and boom, he gets tripped from behind. A little clip. I mean, we could have probably thrown the flag on number 30 for tripping the umpire, but maybe it was incidental contact here. But the umpire, I would have liked to seen a little bit more agility, him put his hand down and not do a barrel roll backwards. But I just thought he didn't go completely down. I didn't roll on top of his head, but let's just be aware when we're out there. All right, this next two plays, I want to point out the difference between what coaches can and can't do. So let's take a look at the coach at the bottom of the screen here. So the umpire's going out to set the ball, right? Coach comes out on the field. Well, do we panic? No, because he's calling the plays. The snap is not imminent. And this is kind of the actions that we allow the coaches to do. You saw him call his play. Now the snap is becoming imminent because the offensive team is coming on the field and starting to line up. He has the wherewithal to back off the field, get into the white, and allow us to officiate. So I just wanted to point out, this is something we allow the coaches to do. As long as they work with us in this situation, they want to come on the field, they can do that, just as long as they get off and out of the white before we officiate. This next play is what we don't allow coaches to do. And I've tried to get you to work with coaches, but we have a situation that happens like this. We have a pass down the end, and we make a call that a coach doesn't agree with. And what I want to do is watch that coach right there and watch what he does. He comes running 25 yards down the field to complain. That is an automatic flag. Flag. Right there. Then we tell him, Coach, you need to get back in the box. If he still continues to berate us, then we throw another flag on him again. Okay, because this is totally unacceptable behavior that we do not tolerate. Okay, we can have conversations in the white and in the team box, but we don't allow this to happen. All right, kickoff mechanics. So we're going to have a kickoff that ends in a touchback. And I want you to watch the efficiency of this crew and how they handle and get in and out of a touchback situation here. And you may not think this is much, but the clock is stopped here. Let's get the game moving. Let us dictate the pace of this game and not allow the teams to hold us up. So now we see the deep wing come in at the bottom to get the spot where the offense wants to put the ball. And they want to put the ball on the right hash. So they tell that official, the field judge, in this situation, the field judge 0-2-0s to the referee. Hey, we want it on the right hash. And the umpire hears it, should hustle over to the right hash and put it there. Now, you saw great ball rotation in here too, right? Get the kicking ball out. Boom. Get the new ball in. Boom. Great job here. Then what happens next? The referee and all the crew get hustle into position here. Now we're telling the team to get moving. Referee gets into position. He could wait for that team to continue to call its play on the sideline, but no, he chops it in. And this is what we want to do. We got to get this game moving. We allow them to stay on the sideline for a long time. They will chop it in, get the 25 moving, and we'll go from there. All right, these next set of plays, this is the opening kickoff of the game, of the season in this situation. And this is where what I want to bring up is anybody on the crew, if they feel something is wrong, especially in penalty enforcement, say something. okay? Because what we'll have in this situation is we'll have 2 fouls on this play, all right? And I'm going to show you the first foul. We always watch players that move sideways or back towards their own goal line. So look, we look like we have either a block in the back or the blindside block there. Fully support a blindside block in this situation, and the foul occurs right there at the 24-yard line. Right, boom, knocks him down. I'll rewind it again so we can see it, and it's right at the point of attack. So it's a great call right there. So then we subsequently have a return for a touchdown. All right, our rule of thumb, and this is endorsed by the state. I've talked to the state rules interpreter. I usually talk to them a couple times. We allow spontaneous celebrations just as long as it's not directed towards an opponent. And that's what we have right here. We have spontaneous celebration not directed towards opponent. We don't have someone spike the football. We don't have someone who throws the football 80 feet up in the air. Unfortunately, we do have a foul on this play for an unsportsmanlike conduct, which this is something we really don't want in this situation. All right, get in between them. Talk to them. But anyways, we have a foul. So we have 2 fouls on this play, a live ball followed by a dead ball foul. And like I spoke earlier, that live ball foul occurred at the 24-yard line. So if it was a blindside block, we'd go 24 to the 12. If it was a block in the back, we'd go the 24 to the 14. And then we'd have to enforce the 24 to the 14, and then we'd have to enforce the unsportsmanlike conduct, which would be half the distance from there. So right now we have the ball at the 11-yard line, and I have no understanding why. And you'll see that, you know, team lines up, but someone on the crew decides, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with this, and I stop the clock. You know, right before the snap, too. They just don't feel comfortable. And what ends up happening is this person has enough guts to come in and right the ship on the crew. There are 6 of us out there. All 6 of us are responsible for penalty enforcement, not just the umpire and the head linesman, all 6 of us. Okay, so now we move the ball to the 6, which is more plausible in this situation. We go from the 24 to the 14, or, you know, 20, and then we go back to the 6-yard line, you know, whether it's the 6 or 7, whatever, but we righted the ship. We enforced both fouls here. So if you are in this situation and you're feeling uncomfortable, especially in penalty enforcement, stop the game and talk to the crew. All right, this next play, we don't see it very often, but we know by rule, when a helmet comes off the runner, the play is dead, even though the runner continues to go. And we see this in this situation, and the crew does a really great job here in killing the play. So you'll see the handoff, the runner gets hit, the helmet's off, and the helmet is off right there at the 5-yard line, even though they continue to go into the end zone. The crew does a wonderful job stopping the game here and doesn't allow it. But, you know, we know that that player can't play that next play, and we should have the ball stopped right there. But it's a good job by this crew. It's something we don't see very often. Okay, aiding the runner. I know there's a point of emphasis on aiding the runner this year, and I want to explain what the point of emphasis is. Point of emphasis for aiding the runner is when we have a scrum where we're in the middle of the field and the runner's forward progress is stopped, and then all of a sudden linemen run from behind and push. Okay, so the topic to take from this, forward progress is already stopped, and then the push occurs. Okay, that is what the point of emphasis is for aiding the runner. In this situation, we're gonna see that the quarterback lines up under center with number 5 and number 6 in the backfield. Now they run up and they push, right? If we were to call aiding the runner on this, we would want 2 hands on the back of the quarterback by either number 5 and number 6, and neither one of them to have any contact with anybody else, their own lineman or one of the defensive linemen in this situation, to call aiding the runner. In this situation, you could see it's clear that they are partaking in the blocking to get the quarterback in the end zone. Okay, so in this situation, no call for aiding the runner would be the proper call. Okay, And I want to show you again another play where we have something similar, correct? Lined up, we have a down and short situation. Team runs up. There's pushing by number 29, but number 29 is also driving members of the defense backwards. So again, even though there's pushing in there, he's also blocking back the defense. Okay, so in this situation, aiding the runner would not be called. All right, let's go over intentional grounding and what constitutes and not constitutes intentional grounding. So if we know a rule change last year, if a quarterback gets outside the tackle box and throws the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, there does not need to be a receiver in the area. However, if the quarterback is in the pocket and throws the ball, whether it lands forward, beyond, or behind the line of scrimmage, there has to be a receiver in the area. And we're not real technical with this because they're already giving up a down in this situation. So we don't get uber technical with the receiver being in an area. I just want to go over a situation where good judgment for not calling intentional grounding on 2 occasions. So you'll see here, our tackle box is just right about in here. Okay, so let's watch the quarterback. He's in the pocket. He's in the pocket. Now he's out and throws the ball. It's beyond the line of scrimmage. There is no foul for intentional grounding, nor was one called in here. Now let's say that number 15, the quarterback, stays in the pocket and throws the ball in this situation. If number 15 was in the pocket and the pass goes like it does, out of bounds over here, number 2 is in the area. Okay, I just want to make it clear and just so we understand those situations. Here's an interesting play, and it's a lot for this crew to digest, and they did a nice job in it. So first of all, I want to talk about a reverse goal line mechanics. So when we're snapping from the 3 here, we should both be going to the goal line. Both head linesman, line judge, we should be feeling the goal line in this situation. And if one of us has to go back, but somebody has to be there to judge on the goal line. But look what we have happen here. We have a tight play now. Is the quarterback down? Is there a pass? Is there a fumble? All right, so we do a good job on ruling the quarterback not being down and throwing a pass. But what I want to know, and I didn't ask the crew this, did they know we had to have intentional grounding rules in this situation? Because the quarterback's in the pocket under duress, throws the ball, does not make the line of scrimmage. But what we will notice from this play is number 42, who's the running back, is in the area. So that we would not want intentional grounding called in this situation. But there's a lot to digest on this play. And just because we'll put a lot of emphasis on the deep wings and the line of scrimmage officials to know whether there's a receiver in the area, umpires and referees can get involved in this situation. I know the referee has a lot going on with the quarterback being down or being on and pass fumble. So umpires, you can also get involved and say, get on the 0-2-0 and say, hey, 42 is in the area. We don't have intentional grounding. So good job by the crew, both these crews in this situation. All right, I showed you a play earlier in the training tape regarding a blindside block. I wanted to show another one here where this is a good no call for a blindside block, and I want to explain why it's not a blindside block because sometimes we can get confused here. But what I want you to do is watch number 2 here. Okay, he has all the indicators going back towards the ball and not only going back to or going parallel with the line of scrimmage. What he does is he stops right before the hit and braces himself. Boom, braces himself, hits him in the chest, not with a lot of force. And I really thought the crew had good judgment here not to call this a blindside block in this situation. I mean, he hit him square in the chest. The defender kind of braced himself too. So I just really thought the crew did a really nice job not calling that a blindside block. All right, this next play, I just want to highlight the referee in this situation. He does a wonderful job not allowing players to get behind him who could cause trouble. So we're going to take a look at what happens on this side of the ball, and you'll see it quite clearly. Something will happen, and all of a sudden, boom, you got 2 players in the backfield on top of each other. Now, the referee could have, he knows that his crew has all of this handled, right here and right here. He does not run past them. He gets right there and lets them know he's there. He prevented a foul by making his presence felt. Okay, the offensive player could have laid on the defender, and then the defender could have got mad and then got up and shoved the offensive player. But that all did not occur because what the referee did here by making his presence felt. So I just wanted to highlight that we need to see more of that type of officiating, making our presence felt so that we don't have unnecessary fouls later in the game. So great job here by this referee. This next one, we don't see this very often, and it's tripping the runner, okay? And you'll see the runner goes a little bit off tackle to the left, but I'll let the play run. And, and it's tough for a wing official to get, but the referee, if they're looking there, and that's probably where they're looking in this situation, if you're working the head linesman's tackle in this formation, this could be something the referee could pick up. But again, it's very difficult. I mainly put this on here because we don't see it very often. You see the runner jukes the defender, gets beat, and he sticks his leg out and trips the runner. So that'd be a foul for tripping. And it occurred behind the line of scrimmage, or right at the line of scrimmage. So we'd in this situation, we'd probably go half the distance to the goal line and a first down in this situation. But and then this one is great judgment by this wing official not to call late hit out of bounds. Okay, what I would like to see more from this wing official, you see how the contact's happening here. It still happens in bounds. They kind of drive each other out of bounds. I would have preferred to see a kill than a wind here, but I'm not going to be too picky because I don't know if he was driven backwards, but I think a kill would be good. But what also I'd like to see is he turned and looked into trouble. We have the deep wing coming up into trouble. Great mechanics in here by this line of scrimmage official, and great judgment not to call a late hit out of bounds. So last year I spent a lot of time picking on the defense for what they do as far as getting the offense to move. Now we have to also focus on the offense because I want you to watch this play and watch what happens. All right. So we have a whole big of a mess right here. It's the offensive's responsibility to start the play correctly. Okay. In this case, they move abruptly, causing the defense to react. In this situation, the proper call would be a false start on the offense, okay? Because none of this is smooth or deliberate. It's jerky and fast. So if you see this situation, this is a foul for a false start on the offense. I thought I threw a couple DPI plays up here. This first play is a pass to the bottom of the screen. We'll throw it up there. And I talked a lot in my training tape that we allow defenders to have contact with the receiver if they are trying to make a play on the ball. But as you can see here, the defender is riding the receiver out of bounds and is not looking back at the football at all. Okay, so we have a proper call of defensive pass interference here on this play. Now, if the defender is looking back for the ball and making a play on the ball, and there's this similar contact here with the receiver, it's a situation where we would not want defensive pass interference called. But let me play it again. Defender's not playing the ball, pushes the receiver, rides him out of bounds, cuts him off, and a good job here to call pass interference. All right, this next play is just a phenomenal call. And you could see the situation here. It's second quarter, 0-0 game. The offense is ready to score. I want you to watch this matchup right here, and then we'll talk about it. I'm sorry, my mistake. I want you to watch the matchup with this player All right, as you can see, we take it back for a touchdown, but this is just, it's a phenomenal call, and you might think this is easy, but this isn't easy. All right, this is someone focusing on an area where there's an issue, digesting the play. So right here, we have a defensive hold. Boom, I have a hold. So I'm going to go find the ball. Two-step process. Do I have a defensive hold? Find the ball. The ball's in the air. And why is this a foul? It's a foul for two reasons. It's a defensive hold because of this. It's DPI because he uses that hold to slingshot him in front of the receiver to make a play on the ball. So this is just a really great call here by this deep wing here to focus. Look how calm he throws the flag. He doesn't get excited. It's just a part of his normal routine. Slow heartbeat. Then he continues up the field to officiate the play. All right. He doesn't stand back there and admire his flag. He continues to officiate the play. And then I want to highlight the good judgment here by the official at the bottom. Okay. You're working your white. Coaches are in the area. He's trying to get out. You had a run around him. You might have made contact with him. But you know what? I really like the fact that what you did here, you threw your flag and you just gave him a sideline warning. They know what they did wrong. They're excited. You don't have to compound a situation here. Give them a sideline warning, which is what you did right here. And, great overall officiated play by this crew. All right, offensive holding. This is a good play for two reasons. So first thing we're going to do is look at the clock below. It's the second quarter with 40 seconds to go in the game. We just come out of a timeout. So we have a stop clock here. But what we do know is any foul under 2 minutes, the offended team has the option if the game clock were to start on the ready because it was a running play or a completed pass in bounds, they have the option to start it on the snap. So let's take a look at this situation. And first we're going to take a look at the block by number 80 here. And in this situation, we have a double-double situation, so the referee's probably working the head linesman side at the top, the line judge is working the tackle at the bottom. But what I like here is the referee transitions quickly. He sees right here that there's a running play, so shifts his eyes into this to the point of attack here. And we have an outside grab here by this tight end, and he spins him around right at the point of attack. This is a textbook hold, and our referee gets it because he was looking in the right area. But what we have here is we have a tackle in bounds. So, theoretically, after the play, after we enforce the foul, when we go from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 11, the game clock's going to start on the ready for play. But we need to ask the defense if they want to start it on the snap, because if we're in a different field position situation, they may want to put the ball on the snap. Maybe they have 3 timeouts, okay, and they just got another one because the offense fouled, and then the offense has a bad punter, they can try to score. So don't forget that rule that under 2 minutes, the offended team has the option to start the clock on the snap. All right, I wanted to show a good no call here. We're going to look at the action by the right tackle, and you're going to say, holy cow, Brian, this is a freaking hold. And you're right, that's a hold, but what we have is we have good judgment here by this crew. Yeah, it's a hold, but where does that hold affect the play? It doesn't affect the play, and it's not a serious throwdown. Yeah, he twists them and pulls them to the ground, but it's not a pickup or slam or a personal foul type of situation. So the crew does a really good job and exercises judgment not to call offensive holding in that situation. Another good no call for holding, and it's the referee here, and we can get fooled by these right here. So right here, you can see right off the line, the defensive end has beaten the tackle to the inside. So what does the tackle do? He gets his arm up, but he doesn't hook him. He blocks what is presented to him and just continues to push him, and the referee's looking right at it, exercises excellent judgment not to call a foul here. And the other thing I want to point out, look at the side judge in this situation. I want you to watch, does he or she take a step the entire time? No. At the end, he takes one little step back, which he really didn't need to do. He could have officiated this play standing completely still from that situation and he does it really nice and calm, comes up, kills the clock. It's great mechanics and great judgment by this crew in both situations. All right, this is another situation we don't see very often, illegal substitution versus illegal participation. So the way it's written, if there are more than 11 players on the field and that 12th player participates in the play, that becomes illegal participation. If the player is trying to get off the field and during the play it's snapped and the player's on the field and he runs off the field, it becomes an illegal substitution foul. Both cases, this is a live ball foul. Okay, we don't kill the clock here. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and trust me out here, there's a 12th one outside the numbers here. So you'll see the defensive lineman come in and try to replace his player. The offense snaps the ball and we kill the play. Okay, we don't want to do this in this situation. Number 73 is trying to run off the field. He is not participating in this play, so let him continue to run off the field. If he does, then our flag becomes a legal substitution. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. If he participates in the play, it becomes illegal participation, which carries a 15-yard penalty in that situation. So I just want us to be aware of the difference between a legal substitution, a legal participation, and we have to know that this is a live ball foul. All right, punt plays. We have a couple ones that are interesting here. We have a block punt in this situation, and we have to understand as wings officials, head linesman, line judge, who holds and who stays. So who stays? If you're looking at the referee's back, you hold and you stay on the line of scrimmage where the other official will go back with the referee. So we have a snap over the head. You can see the head linesman at the top of the screen realizing, oh, maybe I should only go back a little bit, but you got to stay on this line of scrimmage, because you have to make the judgment if they end up kicking the ball, whether or not it goes across the line of scrimmage or not. Okay, let your other official go back and officiate this play. All right. The other thing that's interesting here is we have a punt here, and initially I thought they played soccer with a football and we should have had a foul for illegal kicking, but no, he picks it up, he punts the ball out of bounds, and our line judge right here is well aware of the situation, comes up, calmly marks the spot, and that's where the defense will take the ball 1st and 10. All right, another situation, punts. First off, referees, we have to be set before the ball is snapped. All right, so we should be staring right down this line, and you may even want to get a little bit wider in this situation, okay? Deep wings, we know that that's our matchup. That's our flyer in that situation. So it looks like he runs. And if I'm the line judge or the head linesman in here, I'm looking in this area too. So what we end up having is a block in the back in that situation. That should be a foul there for a block in the back. And let's see when it occurred, because it matters, right? When it occurs. Did it occur during the run or did it occur during the kick? So boom, it happens there. You see the foul, you find the ball. The ball is still not in the air, so it happens during the kick, which means that the enforcement spot is right here, where the end of the kick is. If we are mistaken and we say it's the end of the run, so we have the foul that occurs at the 15-yard line if it's during the run, and where's the end of the run is probably about the 14-yard line, so it would be a yard off difference there. But it's important to know where and when the foul is. All right, this next play is something we don't see very often, another one. And it always happens the first week. So we have a block punt in this situation. And I won't rehash what happened last year, but I will keep you all in mind when we have a situation like this. Don't move downfield, and both line of scrimmage officials stay on the line of scrimmage, because that's uber important. Because what happens right here, the ball is rolling. Here's the ball. Let's rewind it back. Punt, block, ball rolling, picked up by the offense. Where was it picked up? At the 40-yard line, behind the line of scrimmage. So they can carry the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, which they do in this situation, and we properly rule that the kicking team will get the ball 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. So again, it's uber important that we don't get too excited to move down the field. The crew didn't do that here. They were able to realize that the offense could still advance the ball because it was behind the line of scrimmage. Had it been beyond the line of scrimmage, it would have been dead where they recovered it in R's ball. But in this situation, K recovers it behind the line and advances beyond the line to gain and can keep the ball. Okay, what constitutes roughing the passer? Roughing the passer is a high hit to the quarterback's head, an obviously late hit on the quarterback, even a blow to the head. If they're trying to block the pass and gives a severe blow to the head, that would be supported for roughing the passer. And in addition, if the defender picks up and puts his full body weight and drives the quarterback into the ground, that is another instance of roughing the passer. So let's take a look at this first play. And all right, so the quarterback releases the ball, one step, hit, and tackle, right? So this is good judgment by this referee for not calling roughing the passer. It's not late. The defender does not pick up the quarterback, nor does he drive him into the ground with his entire body weight. He hits him perfectly in the strike zone. If you don't understand what I mean by the strike zone is here, down to here, where it's a good hit on the quarterback. It's a good form tackle, and really excellent judgment by this referee not to call roughing the passer. This situation, let's take a look at the pass. Release, hit. We have a flag for roughing the passer. Obvious in this situation, it's late. Okay, it's not, it hits him in the chest. Had it been a little earlier, 1001. Our general rule is 2.5 steps. We give him a step and a half, 2 steps. Anything after that is a foul. And this is a foul for roughing the passer because number 5 is too late in hitting the passer. Our final one, another good no call in this situation for roughing the passer. So I showed you 2 that aren't and 1 that is. This is not late, and it's not to the head. It's a step and a half and hits him. So this is a good judgment for not calling roughing the passer. All right, I apologize for the length of this tape. You know, it's a little bit longer but we had some really good plays. Hopefully you learned from them. I threw up our mission statement. Our actions and decisions of football officials should be based upon what is best for officiating and the game of football with integrity, empathy, and discipline. We need to get back to our roots with all of this. And but I appreciate everyone who watches, who comments, who subscribes to the YouTube channel. It helps keep this going. I really enjoy it. And I really, more than anything, I love watching you all officiate and the passion that you have for officiating. So let's have another great week. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you. Thank you.